I'm the program lead for Youth Impact Labs. It's a youth employment program that is funded by Google.org and implemented by Mercy Corps in East Africa and Middle East. Here in East Africa, our approach is to work with innovators and to support innovators that are creating new work opportunities while leveraging technology. And we support them by providing grant funding, equity funding, and technical assistance to help them scale their platforms or the innovations that they have come up with. Gig work has been the norm in the country, and there are a lot of people who identify themselves as gig workers, especially in the informal economy. But we are seeing increasingly technology being leveraged to expand that market. So far, we have supported 4 gig work platforms in East Africa. Specifically in Kenya, we supported 2, one which is a ride-hailing app for border riders, and one that is supporting fundis to connect to clients. And I don't think it's even unique to digital platforms. Okay. It's unique to all startups. It's the norm for all startups in Kenya and all startups in the world that fundraising is difficult because funders want to see traction before they can put the money in it. And where we see our role is we are willing to take the risk, and we are willing to put the early stage financing if we believe in the vision that you have in the company. And we believe that more development companies and more development organizations need to go in this direction, because there are a lot of great innovations in Kenya. There are a lot of great innovations to youth employment that have been released, but these innovators lack the critical initial early stage funding in order to expand them. And even beyond financing, so financing is a huge problem, but even much more than financing, I think the biggest problem that is facing digital technologies that are coming up is access to market. With every solution, it's just a great idea or it's just a product until it goes commercial, until people are willing to pay for that solution. And in order for even these innovators to go on and get additional funding, they need to show that several people have paid for the service that they are giving. And that's a point where now we are supporting innovators to first find a way to very quickly pilot their innovations and find if there is a market for them, but also encouraging employers, especially in the corporate sector, but also individuals, to just be those early stage market. So if you hear a great innovation has come, just try it out. It doesn't have to have a big brand name, but try it out, because that's how they learn, that's how they get the feedback to iterate and improve their innovations. But mostly that's how we support our own, because these solutions, especially in gig work, it's a two-sided market. You cannot take on additional gig workers on your platform unless there's a ready market that is willing to pay for the convenience. But we have seen a lot of growth in this sector, especially with access to market. With the emergence of Uber, initially Uber did not have very many clients, but now everybody is comfortable getting an Uber. And so there's a lot of digital barriers that have been broken, and now the path is really great for a lot of digital innovators to come in. I know first people are willing to take on digital solutions. People are willing to download your app. People are willing to pay a premium for convenience. So that has been proven. It's about now time for innovators, especially Kenyan innovators, to take advantage of the progress that we have made in our digital space in order to come up with better solutions. I honestly think that we simply have high unemployment rates just because our economy is not growing fast enough to create these work opportunities. We are not creating enough work opportunities in the economy. And so it's not a question of there are people, there are few high-level positions where employers are struggling to get good people who are skilled people for those particular positions. But in most part, the employers that we have talked to and interviewed have said, for every position, there are at least 1,000 people who are applying for it. And out of that, there are a good number of people who are qualified for it. And so they are spoiled for choice. And this is to show that there are just, not enough opportunities for all the young people that we are churning every year, especially from our education system. That said, we cannot just sit. If you have competition that is this high, then young people have to upskill themselves. Young people have to bridge the gap in order to be competitive in this market. And we are looking at gig economy from different perspectives. From an online work perspective, where we are looking at gig work as these people on Upwork, on Kuhaso, on Fiverr, who are looking for opportunities that are global, where the client is probably not sitting in Kenya. That's a great opportunity to create, to tap into opportunities that are outside of our borders, right? But then there's a lot of competition, especially with India and other countries that have really gone ahead of us and have really upskilled themselves. And so from that perspective, yes, there's a skill gap. If you're trying to compete with India, especially on IT, there's a skill gap. And there aren't too many people who can do what they're doing on IT there. But then also we have other levels of gig work, like the blue in the blue collar jobs, right? So where all I need is a fundi, right? And there I think there are enough skilled workers out there, but they are either not packaging themselves right, or they are not. They do not have the soft skills to yield that confidence that they are going to do the right job. And of course, there are a lot of workers who say that fundis who say they can do everything, and really they cannot do everything. That are making depleting trust among clients. And so there, I think it's not even so much a technical skill issue, but it's so much there's a soft skill gap. And what platforms such as Link are doing in providing that infrastructure, they are upskilling these people, they are training these people, they're training them on how to communicate, how to price, how to get to the client site on time, clean up on their way out, and communicate with these clients so that they feel comfortable to bring them on the job. And such things are really helping with that. But that said, there are at least 800,000 people who are joining the labor market. And so we have to think, how do we create opportunities for them? There are less than 100,000 formal jobs that are being created, and that leaves the informal work, and that creates the opportunity for gig work. And so how we are looking at it is, with technology, then how do we expand the market for gig workers? And a great example I like giving is with Uber, because when Uber came, they first displaced taxi drivers. And so the first few jobs, we can't say they created jobs, they simply made people who are offline become online gig workers. But then over time, they have expanded the market. There are more people who are using taxis now that would have never used a taxi 5 years ago, right? And so they have created an opportunity for more people to join the taxi business. And that way, that's how we're looking at, more of Link, more of gig platforms, more of rider apps, more of this technology that then expand the market so that we can be able to absorb even more young people. We also know that MSMEs are the greatest employers. We are saying a shopkeeper can, at this point, only employ one person. But if we support them, if we help them overcome the financial barriers, if we help them overcome the market access barriers through e-commerce, if we help them overcome the talent and skill barriers for the entrepreneur through training, then they can expand into an even bigger shop or even a supermarket. And instead of employing one person, they can employ 10 other people. And that's how we're going to create entry-level jobs for all these people who are joining the labor market right now.
Okay.